this microphone still works. It's been a while. That should be alright, eh? So, hopefully the camera stays where it is. And today we're going to go do a bit of sprinting, but I also want to share kind of some of the thoughts that I've been thinking about for the last, it's obviously been maybe a year or two.
And Wendy's are set.
Forgot the radio to be on. Essentially my thoughts about presence, mental presence, love, ego, evil, and how to most effectively strive for your goals. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy this video. I'm really excited to get stuck into it and just see what happens. So we will take our short drive up to the rugby club. Ooh, just trying to drive gently so the camera doesn't fall. I'm going to find somewhere to park and then I'll get back to you on the pitch because that's really starting to wind me up, this camera. Well, here we are, in the dugout first, but we'll probably get warmed up now, and I'll delve more into the topics. The first thing I want to say, to kind of introduce the entire video formally, would be the fact that if you're striving for a big goal, I want you to think of these three concepts. So firstly, are you striving for this goal out of love, or are you striving out of ego? Do you feel like you have something to prove, or are you doing it purely out of the love of life and the love of just doing things and achieving? Secondly, how present are you in your thought? So when I'm standing here right now, I'm speaking to the camera, I've got the microphone in my hand, I can feel what my body's feeling, I can see the thoughts that are appearing in my mind, and I know that I'm speaking. I'm very present, I feel like I'm here and nowhere else. That is very important. Then thirdly, how energized are you on a day-to-day basis, and how are you applying that energy in your life? If you're very high energy, look at what avenues you're using to portray that. For example, I am using my energy today to create this video and speak about things I'm passionate about, and then also still do my work towards my goal. I'm doing my speed training, and then I'm going to go into the gym afterwards. So I want you to think about those three concepts as I warm up, and I'll keep coming back to you with a little bit more intel, bit of knowledge. So let's get stuck in. So the first thing we're going to talk about is love versus ego. So I want you to imagine two scenarios. So the first one, we're going to talk about love, where you want to climb a mountain because you're going to raise money for charity because one of your family members has suffered from an illness. Use that as an example, right? And then we're going to use, for ego, you've got the mountain and you're just climbing it because you want to prove to the rest of the world that you're the best mountain climber in the world and that you're the fastest, and that's all that matters really. Now, which scenario do you think is going to be driven by more energy? Do you think love has more energy, or do you think evil has more energy? I'm going to leave that with you for a second while I do the rest of my warm-up. So, when you think about love, you don't just think about the energy you get from love, but you also get the experience that surrounds acting with love. So you're doing this mountain climbing charity thing, and you're going to meet some lovely people. If you're doing this out of love, everyone is a colleague. Your whole people that are in different expedition groups, just imagine you're on Everest, you got base camp, you got hundreds of people around you, and you're going to make friends. They're going to see you doing something out of positive light. You might make lifelong friends. You'll meet people that you never would have met otherwise, because you're moving in there with an energy of love to help people, to meet people. You're going to smile, you're going to laugh, you're just going to have a really enjoyable time, which I think is the essence of life. Whereas if you go to that expedition with ego fueling you, you're probably going to shut out a lot of people and see everyone as competition. You're not going to want to interact with people as much, because you're going to see them all as against what you're doing, because you're trying to beat them. You're trying to be better than them. Now, there's going to be a lot of pushback on this point, because ultimately I'm a rugby player, aren't I? So I'm always in competition. I need to be better than people not only in my squad but in the other team if I'm actually going to play and I want to be professional. So I need to be better than a lot of people in order to do that. But if I do that with a mindset of fuck everyone else, I want to be the best, then I'm not going to make many friends, am I? I'm not going to have as many positive interactions. And that's okay if life was about achievement and success, but that doesn't really fulfill a man. You want to have as varied a life as possible, because you want to be able to look back on your deathbed and say, I had a really good time, rather than fucking, I beat everyone but there's nobody here with me, there's nobody loves me because everyone was competition in my eyes. That's what happens when you move with ego over love. And I think you can still achieve your goals moving with love and have a better time doing it. I'm going to take the next stage of my warm-up now, and then we're going to talk about presence of mind and how important that is when you're striving for a goal. We're a little bit warmer now, t-shirts off, starting to get into the thick of the session. Presence. Why is presence important? Well, it just comes down to a simple matter of decision making and consciousness, awareness of your consciousness. If you are not present, if you don't know where you are, you're not thinking about where you are and you're just lost in thought, that is distraction. Distraction will make sure that you do not get where you want to go. If you just allow every single thing, if I'm doing my sprint session, if I start thinking about the wind over there, start thinking about the traffic going by, and then I can see a truck going down the motorway over there, and I spoke to the groundsman earlier, I start thinking about what he was talking about, I'm not going to get a very productive session done here, am I? I might still get the same work done, but the intensity of that session is going to be less because my focus is elsewhere. Whereas, if you're present, you know exactly where you are, and every action that you do is deliberate. Just think about that. Every action that you do is deliberate. You never get persuaded by anything else. You don't let somebody else dictate where you're going. If you have the mental capacity to make every decision yourself on where you're going in your life and towards your goals, you're obviously going to get there a lot quicker, aren't you, than if you were not present of mind. Think about that for a second. I'll come back and tell you exactly how to be present. Right, That was the final stage of my warm-up. I'm ready to get into it. And how to get present. How to get present. What you need to do is meditate. That can be very vague, because your idea of meditation is probably one of two things. It's either being a Buddhist monk out in the middle of the Chinese mountains and meditating all day long, or you maybe experiment a little bit with meditation and all you can understand is just think of the breath, follow the breath. I'll go a little bit deeper on that. I meditate, I would say, 2 to 3 times a week for about 20 minutes at a time. And what I do during that meditation is try to feel every single element of consciousness that I can at that moment. That includes the sense of touch. How do I feel the energy around me? Can I feel the air sitting on the back of my head, the air around my arms? Feel all of that. Feel my breath. What do I taste? What do I hear? And you build these elements up together to a point where you can feel the entirety of consciousness, and that includes the thoughts that are going to come through your mind. You quickly begin to realize that most of the thoughts that you think, you're not actually deliberately thinking them. So being present allows you to be able to see those thoughts as what they are and don't allow them to distract you. You'll be able to watch as the thought arises and then not allow that thought to then take over what you're about to do. If you're not present, that thought, you're away with that thought and you're not thinking about your task at hand for at least 5-10 minutes. But if you're present in mind, you see that thought come in, 10 seconds later, right, back to task. That's all it is, meditation. You feel every element of consciousness and then you bring it back once you get distracted by thought. So you feel the air around you. You taste what's in your mouth. You smell what's in the air. You hear what's going on around you. You see what you can see. And then you watch as thoughts come into your mind, and then you bring it all back to the 5 senses. It's as simple as that. And you'll be able to make decisions so much faster that'll benefit where you're going in life and what you want to achieve. Now, the next point, energy, I've saved that deliberately for when I start the session, so I'm going to change up the camera angle and I'm going to get stuck into my change of direction speed session. And I'll talk to you about why energy is so important. Let's go. Funnily enough, blown a little bit. So, the concept of energy. Why is energy important? It's very simple, really. If you look at people who have high energy, they're constantly ready to go, they're ready to do things, they're always on the move, they tend to always be more successful in whatever endeavour they choose. They've always got a positive attitude, they always just love to just get the job done, expend their energy, expend their life force. Whereas people with low energy, people who sit around all day, they don't do anything, they'll feet up in front of the sofa, never cook, never clean or anything like that. Those people not only tend to not achieve very much, they also tend to try and bring other people down with them. That negative energy, that low energy, tends to bring people down. And if you're one of those type of people, not only are you not going to achieve anything, but you're also going to end up becoming a burden to be around. I want you to think about that. Think about the people in your life that you know, and think about, have they got high energy and have they got low energy? And then look at what the rest of their life looks like. Do they have a successful career? Do they have loving relationships with their family or with a spouse? Just think about that. I will do a few more reps and then I'll get back to you with how you become more energized. Speed session complete. All I have left to do is one 200 metre sprint for time, just because I can. Why not? So, how to become more energised? You're probably going to think I'm a little bit patronising here, but it's very simple. Sleep well, eat well, exercise. I wish I could say it was more complicated. I mean, add in some caffeine and you're laughing, really. You do this over a long enough period of time and you apply all three principles of love, presence of mind, energy. I actually cannot imagine a better way to try and achieve your goals. I feel like that gives you the Holy Trinity, the best of everything, really. And I guess that's the summary of the video, is that the foundations of striving for a dream, I mean, I've not achieved my dream yet, and I've tried many different ways. I've tried having a large ego, I've tried not being present of mind, I've tried doing it with low energy and eating crap food and not sleeping very well, and all that ever it leads to is frustration, anger, self-pity, depression, poor health, illness, injuries. I mean, you can choose your own path, but if you think about it, whether I achieve my goal of becoming a professional rugby player or not, I would much rather strive for that goal with love, with presence of mind, and with high energy, rather than with my ego fueling me, without having a present mind, I'm with low energy. So I know there's probably a few people thinking, well, he's not achieved shit yet, so why would we listen to him? But it's a personal choice that I'm putting forward to you. This is after how long have I been playing? 4 years I've been playing semi-professionally, playing rugby, and of course I still want to go professional. And like I say, I've tried every method I can, and 4 years of playing at that level, and also 4 years of philosophizing and thinking about things intently about how I can find the most effective method. These foundations are what I've found to be the most effective method, because that's what feels the best in the present moment. Because ultimately the past doesn't exist anymore, and the future has not happened yet. Therefore we have no control over either party. The only control we have is the present moment. And if you attack the present moment with an attitude of love, by making clean decisions because you're present of mind, you're here where your feet are, you're grounded, you know where you are, you know what you're thinking, and then you attack that with high energy, those three together, I actually can't think of a better way to live my life. I think that is the best way for a man to go about living his life, is to have all those three pillars: love, presence of mind, energy. Do with that what you will, but I think that's the greatest way to live. Whether I achieve my goals or not, I'm going to keep attacking every single day and every single moment with that same energy and that same philosophy. So I hope you've taken something out of this video, because I've really enjoyed making it. It's nice to be back on camera. So, you know what? Have a good day. See ya.